Howard, please, right here to the front.
Good morning.
Good morning, Coach. Mike Brohart from CSURams.com. As you've dug more into game film of Colorado State, what's impressed you beyond what you initially saw?
Well, first thing I would point out is they're a well-coached team. They do a very good job offensively, moving the ball, moving the people from side to side, which means that your defense, whoever opponent they face, will have a tough job defensively of making sure you keep guys in front. Another thing that's impressed me is Roddy, who's the head of the Snake. Very competitive young man, plays with a lot of energy and effort. Being undersized, I'm sure people have said how I look at him, how he competes. He's not undersized because of his toughness, the way how he's able to get downhill to finish over top of length. He's also very physical, can shoot the ball from the outside. Stevens, another guy who's done well for them offensively, running the team, very quick, athletic, as well as strong, has length with him as well. So those two guys, along with the others, I've been impressed with how they competed in their conference, and it doesn't surprise me by being in the Mountain West, one of the conferences that a lot of folks don't talk about because of the fact that they're on the West Coast. But you look at the teams like San Diego State, Wyoming, Colorado State, and others, it's a very competitive conference.
Let's go over here to the left, and we'll go to the back corner. Go ahead.
Austin Meek with The Athletic. Juwan, when we spoke to DeVante on Sunday, he was emotional about getting a chance to play in this tournament for the first time. Can you just speak to your disappointment for him and his disappointment about not being able to play?
Well, he will not be able to suit up on Thursday. Unfortunately, it's a bummer because here's a young man who's been a part of Coastal Carolina, had a lot of success there. Now he's, having the opportunity to play here at the University of Michigan, led our team, and he's also a big reason why we're here. So what it is at this moment, we're going to monitor his health, pray that he gets healthy. But overall, I love how his teammates is going to be there to stand up and play hard for him.
Let's go to the back corner over here.
Coach Brett Dawson with the Courier-Journal in Louisville. If you look at this tournament field, in addition to yourself, you have Penny Hardaway, you have Hubert Davis, coaches who are at their alma maters, who hadn't been head coaches before, Kenny Payne, a candidate at Louisville. I wonder if you think that the experience, knowing the program the way you do, helps kind of offset that lack of head coaching experience for you?
Well, I'm just happy to be a part of a school that has helped mold me to the man I am today. A great academic school. Also have a great, alumni base. Just thinking back to being a student athlete at Michigan, it was just some precious, fun years. And so when you look at a guy like myself and Penny and others, like you mentioned, these are dream jobs for us because we remember being a student and going to class and getting the opportunity to experience that, college atmosphere, and then you come back and your experience. Now you're being able to teach and give back to other young men. I think it's a special icing on the cake. So I look at it as I'm blessed, and it's fun that I get an opportunity to do something that I love doing.
Let's go here to the front, down here on the left. Go ahead.
Hey, Juwan. Mark Cannizzaro from the New York Post. I'm just curious what you took away from the time away, those last couple games of the season after the suspension, and as a follow, what kind of a resource that Phil Martelli has been for you, in that period, not just that period since he's gotten here?
Yes, excellent question. When you step away, you get a chance to reevaluate yourself and also what you can do to improve. Because I'm always built on a growth mindset. How I can help prepare our guys. What can we do better as a group? And watching film and going back to old games and also looking at the games that are being played and seeing where there can be growth. I think we're truly 1% better. I trust the staff that I put together, before I got the job, understanding, where my weaknesses are and seeing how we can, of course, cover up those weaknesses and band together as one of the best coaching staffs in the country to provide for our student athletes and also represent, the University of Michigan. Phil Martelli was a no-brainer. And I did my homework slowly, took my time, and when I saw, Coach, coaching those 5 games, and Howard Isley and Sadie Washington and the support staff, it was no surprise because we've always talked about the next man up, and they were ready. And Coach, he's done it for so many years. Also coached big games, been in the tournament, coached big games, and he knows how to manage a game. Wasn't his first rodeo.
Let's go to the back. Go ahead.
Michael Cohen from the Detroit Free Press. Juwan, how did DeVante suffer the concussion? And then if Frankie is a guy that gets more minutes, what type of growth have you seen from him, especially in the second half of this season?
Well, when you're out there in practice and, you playing in competitive practices where guys are competing, an inverted elbow as you drive into the lane. It so happened, he got elbowed in the nose area. And, but, looking at it day by day, and, I'm sure he's going to be healthy soon. Just take his time. We're not trying to rush him back. We want a 100% healthy DeVante. But next man up, Frankie's going to get an opportunity. So will Kobe, and then also Eli. So we have some a very good, balanced backcourt that's able to step in and do whatever they can to help the team compete at a high level.
Let's go right over here.
Andrew Kahn, M Live. Hey, Juwan. Kind of similar question to Michael's, but I guess do you have to change things kind of schematically with DeVante out, or is it next man up, plug and play type deal?
Next man up, and what we focus on is how we can prepare to go out there and compete and play some winning basketball, but defensively, that's going to be a focus as well as far as how can we get stops versus Colorado State, a team that's capable of putting up some high numbers offensively. So, we have to make sure we manage the game. Also, looking at as far as taking care of the basketball, and then defensively limiting them to one-shot opportunity.
Let's go front row here. Go ahead.
Michael Sett, WZZM 13 Grand Rapids. Coach, you played in the NBA. You've played against some of the best trash talkers of all time. Michael Jordan, Larry Bird. You coached. He was against you. I want to know, where does Hunter rank among the best trash talkers that you've seen? Because he talks a lot when he plays out there.
Well, I don't get into ranking guys as far as who's the best trash talker, but you're right. In the NBA, I've faced. You left out one guy, and no disrespect, but a Garnett, a Gary Payton. Those guys are all Hall of Famers that you mentioned. I wish I would have had a chance to play against Larry Bird, because I heard Larry's was one of the best trash talkers there was, but they have ways to back it up. So, it speaks for itself on the floor. But Hunter, I am a type of coach that allows him to express himself. It's a very competitive ball game, but when you express yourself, you express it within the guidelines of the game, where it's not disrespecting opposing coaches I'm speaking of, as well as opposing players. He's a guy that, like all players, when they shoot a shot and they make it, they like to celebrate it. They make a dunk, they show emotion. Basketball is an emotional game. It's a very competitive game.
Mark, go ahead.
Hey, Juwan, just one more thing on the last couple games of the regular season. You mentioned some of the things you reflected on and tried to get better at. What were some of those things you did reflect on, and how difficult was that period, and how much did it help knowing you had this in front of you, the conference tournament?
Well, let's look at it like this. I didn't break my TV. I may have broken a remote, but at the same time, I tossed and turned in bed, and my pillow was wet.
So right here, front corner. Go ahead.
Hey, Juwan. Eddie Hers with the Loveland Reporter-Herald. Curious, do you see your group's NCAA tournament experience as any type of advantage going into this game? Obviously, Colorado State hasn't played in March in this environment in quite some time.
Well, in this time of the year, every team that's a part of this NCAA tournament have earned the right to be here. And there's no guarantee that whether you had experience of being in the tournament or you're not, that you're guaranteed that victory, that particular game. So for 40 minutes, the 40 minutes, that's what's a critical moment, as far as you get involved in the competition, and each team is prepared, and preparing for one another, and you're going to go out there and compete for 40 minutes and see, what happens from there. Our goal is to try to get 1 point higher than our opponent.
Let's go ahead and go front row again here, please.
Coach, you guys haven't won more than 3 games in a row this season. How do you get you guys into believing that they can win 6?
1 game at a time. You don't never look far ahead. You just look at the opponent, Colorado State. That's what we focus on, one game at a time.
Any other questions for Coach Howard? Anybody else?